people are starting to finally realize. I think when people first immigrated to America, they thought that we were so different from Americans, but really there's probably more similarities in our values than differences. I will say like one big thing that we like that I had growing up was respect. You always want to respect your elders, whether or not, it's someone that you're familiar with or not, you always just want to be respectful. And, respect is something that is reciprocal. As my mom and dad used to always say that respect is reciprocal. So respecting your elders is a big one. Also the importance of family, not just your direct family, like your parents and your siblings, but like your aunts and your uncles and your second cousins and third cousins. As I'm sure Auntie Ezzy knows, everybody that is an adult or a close friend of your parents is considered your aunt or your uncle instead of just like Mr. So and so. So definitely family is important. Even your extended family, you should see as your direct family. Those are probably the two big values that I can think of off the top of my head. Always, of course, work hard because our parents came here, with minimal things to start a whole new life. So they've always been hard workers and they pass that down to their children, just because they've sacrificed so much to be here. So I think those are the biggest ones. As far as what Melissa was saying about losing values, I can kind of see that too. um, I think that parents sometimes want to be more friends than parents to their children. And that's okay. You can be a friend to your child, but there should still be like a distinction between your friend in school and your parent. Like you should be friends with your parents. You should be able to talk to them and ask them for advice. But, on the same level as your parent, there should be some aspect of respect and part of it. I I mean, not that I didn't experience that as a kid. My dad, I'm an only child, so I think my experience is a little different in that way, and I think my parents are not as traditional as the typical Nigerian parents. Um, so I got more attention probably than other Nigerian kids got because it was just me that they focused on. But yeah, my dad and my mom, they always never failed to tell me that they love me. Even to this day, every time I talk to them, when I hang up the phone, I talk to my parents every day. When I hang up the phone, I say, I love you. They say, I love you. It's second nature to us. But I know a lot of people, like some of my good friends, that their parents don't say that. They never say it. They, to this day, after 28 years of being alive, they can count how many times their dad or has said, I love you. And actually one of my good friends who we've had this conversation before said that she felt like it has affected her dating life because that love that she feels like she didn't get as much, at least verbally, from her dad. She feels like sometimes she may like settle in dating because somebody's saying all the right things and she's not used to it as much as someone else like me who like every every day I say I love you to my parents and my dad. So I definitely think it's something that is an issue in the Nigerian household. Um, there's too many people that I know that have that experience of like not being expressive and being emotional. I think that's just a part of like Nigerian culture is to be strong and to kind of like it's kind of an ego thing, like be strong and always be the big person who is serious and strict and lays down the law. But as far as showing love is like giving you values and telling you to be a hard worker and telling you to do your homework, not saying I love you, give me a hug. So I think the way we express love in Nigerian households is a little different. I'm not sure if that's the case in American household. I mean, everybody's house is different, but generally, I think the way that we express love is I paid that mortgage and you have food in the fridge and you have clothes on your back and you have a car to drive. So I love you. I don't have to tell you that. And now I'm in school studying to be an eye doctor. I'm like realizing here pretty soon I'll be a doctor too. And my professors that I have are my colleagues now. So I don't necessarily have to call them Dr. So and so. I could just say their name. But I feel like even when I have the same title as them, I'm still gonna as them, I'm still gonna feel like I need to say Doctor so and so instead of their first name just because of how I was raised and just the respect thing. I said I had a unique experience. My parents were not the traditional Nigerian parents, but growing up, I would hear that, there's like 4 career pathways you can have. You can be a doctor, you can be a nurse, you can be an engineer, you can be a lawyer, and that was it. But, this generation, like Ashley said, there's so many other avenues that you can do and succeed, and they may not be a straight cut path, and you probably will be a disappointment to your parents until you are successful. But there are ways around just those careers, and especially now that people are like following their passions instead of just following the path that their parents wanted them to follow.